Virginia?
My perception of the charter is that it's a fluid document. And the charter system was put to the Florida voters in 1968, and the Florida voters decided to create the charter system, and it was a voluntary thing. And there's 19 counties that have opted to be charter counties. They make up of the highest amount of population. And I think there's a natural reason for that, that when you do have a highly populated area, things change. The landscape of a community is constantly evolving. And when Sarasota initially opted to be a charter county and decided to have elected board members, they did the right thing. They knew what they were doing, because the purpose and the spirit of a charter is that the citizens of a county can deal with their own issues. And the way
autonomous.
Yes, and the way that it's written, what you are reading to me, proves that, because we can do just about anything we want as a county, as a population, as long as it's not in conflict with the Florida statutes. We can creatively solve our own local issues.
But we have this currently right now. There's a lawsuit by the county commission regarding the optical scan machines, which went to referendum, which was voted in through the SAFE group and all of that. And our county commission is acting against that at county expense, at taxpayers' expense at this time. And here, one of the challenges coming up in our conversation is going to be these next two amendments we're going to be talking about in the last half of this first half, this 1/3 of the show. Anyway, so the point is that the value of the home rule issue is kind of important. Even the donation issue is different with the county than with the state. Ryan?
I just would like to bring it back to the Charter Review Board as far as the SAFE Amendment is concerned. I think it's important to recognize that although I believe we all support paper ballots and support SAFE's initiatives, had that group come before the Charter Review Board, we could possibly be avoiding some of the problems that we're seeing today with the lawsuits.
So you could have saved the county a lot of grief.
Exactly.
Had they had that venue to go to.
Yes.
But because we've got a current chair of this current charter review basically saying it's pointless, there's really no incentive being created within the existing charter review. Is that what you're saying?
The Charter Review Board, as it sits right now, is not necessarily the most viable way for citizens to bring changes to the charter. Under home rule, citizen-initiated changes are important. It's sort of the base of home rule.
What might be called democracy.
Exactly.
Right. Now, if there's been an argument in the past, and it's been tested in Northport and Venice and so forth, the county commission is acting like a municipality or metro government. And there's merging of the police force actions and the overlapping of the sheriff's department and so forth. Huge budgets for the sheriff and so on. And at the same time, a limitation of the municipal governments that already stand. The city of Sarasota hasn't grown since 1990. It's basically 50,000 plus now, which it was at that time, or in that vicinity. Venice wants to expand, Northport wants to expand, and they want to annex. And the county government is standing in the way. So it could be argued that Charter Review is a bridge to these other communities to allow them to do their expansion, and has a greater purpose than maybe the county commission itself. Perhaps we overpay the county commission. Let's shift over to these amendments. Let's talk, Ray, why don't you talk about these two amendments and put on the ballot?
Well, the two amendments, it's a long story, really, Augie.
Well, let's make it as short
I'll
as
try to make it as short as possible.
They're both called ordinances.
The county board has to put together an ordinance to basically change the charter. It's one of the ways to change the charter. But the two amendments basically evolved from the Citizens for Sensible Growth and the Citizens for Quality of Life, basically the slow growth and the pro-growth groups.
Let's just say what these amendments say, basically. I mean, it's what are the people expected to do in this First Amendment?
Well, I'm just trying to lay a little groundwork here. I'm sorry, but
because in order for the group to share in this conversation, we may be shorter on time than I thought.
The two amendments, basically the first one establishes a legal review for any amendments that come before the board. and also sets a time limit on the validity of the signatures. So if you have a petition drive, you spend all this time, days, perhaps months, putting together 12,500 signatures on a petition drive. In 2 years, that amendment would nullify all of those signatures.
So
they also,
it runs out.
It runs out. And now a legal review is part of that, which was never
So
envisioned
that
by...
could drag the process.
Absolutely.
forward.
So basically, you're saying go back to the starting line over and over and over again. It really defeats the whole purpose of the Charter Review Board.
Okay, Virginia.
I think the true danger in these two amendments is how the first amendment starts out when it talks about timing the elections in order to avoid a special election. That makes perfect sense. Everything else that is said after that, I think, is very dangerous, and it's not in what it says, it's in what it doesn't say. It asks for a longer, for the expiration of the signatures, but it doesn't lay out any stipulations by which the signatures are qualified, and when the supervisor
There's
of election
technical,
has to...
functional problems within it.
Yes, with that, and also
So it's
with
not
the
thought through
judicial
very well.
review, there's no limitation on when the review happens, who does the review, and no time frame by which to delay these initiatives or charter amendments. And I think that's very dangerous to the grassroots efforts who don't have the money to file lawsuits and whatnot.
Brian?
Of course, I'm against both of those initiatives as well.
So is the Herald Tribune, by the way.
Right, and I don't know of
As the
anyone
Pelican
that's...
Press and...
Even the county commissioners, I'm hearing, are starting to backpedal.
Right.
They've realized that they did not do their homework on this, or they didn't expect us to do our homework.
I have an email from Nora Patterson saying exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
She thinks it will be defeated.
She believes it, but she needs to come out and say, okay, folks, we
But
made
she's
a
in the
mistake.
Bahamas right now.
It's convenient. But I believe if the county commissioners believe they have a valid option for these two charter amendments, then they should be out promoting it and saying, this is what it's for. Do an educational program just like they have for the other charter amendments. They're not spending a nickel to educate the public to say yes or no on this. They're
Ryan.
they're right now they're afraid, I think, to come out and say this is why it's good, because they know it's not good.
Okay, Ryan.
Yeah, I had a letter to the editor published on
I read that.
the
Very good
Saturday prior to the Herald Tribune, coming out against the amendments, and my letter to the editor stands. On the surface, on the ballot, the way that these amendments are presented, it's confusing a lot of people, and they sound good on the surface. It's when you look deeper that you realize that,
That's
as
all it
Virginia
is.
was saying, they're not all that they're cracked up to be.
I had an elected official from a municipality in Sarasota County ask me to explain the amendments to
Well,
them.
that's a real
And
test.
this is someone who understands the language, couldn't understand these amendments.
We've got a couple of minutes, so Jamie, can you sum up on this?
Certainly. My opinion is simply this. If you're taking away the power of petition by expiration of signatures, or holding it up with judicial review, or a financial analysis, which is Amendment 2, that it is too much for the county to afford, which also does not list who actually picks that financial analyst. Is that the Board of County Commissioners? It's simply this. It is not. It doesn't become we the people of Sarasota anymore.
It goes away
becomes
from that.
We the Board of
The County Commission,
Commissioners.
right. So this whole thing really does come down to the County Commission acting unilaterally.
Most definitely.
And why didn't they put it in the November ballot? And that was even raised, I guess, by retiring Commissioner Mercier, who said that should go into the November ballot rather than the primary ballot, which is going to leave people in the dark about why this thing went through or what didn't go through. And if it doesn't pass, I think there's a lot of criticism that's going to fall around the necks of the County Commission over this whole thing. Ray, have you any other thoughts?
Just basically that I think this is symptomatic again of a county board that feels threatened almost by the Charter Review Board and our limited powers as it stands. And I think it hurts the people. And I think the people you're talking to today, we're not here to represent our own egos or our own individual ideas. We're here to be a conduit for the people and for the public.
We're coming to break, and we'll see you after the break. We'll come back and talk some more.